Okay, what's up, everybody? This is Dwayne Roberts here, coming to you live with a new training today. I'm gonna give a few minutes for people to get in here. Then we're gonna do a microphone check and make sure that you guys can actually hear me. All right, so if you are just now joining the training, do me a favor and let me know your name, where you're coming, where you're from, what market you're in. And if this happens to be your first training, let me know that as well, so I can kind of get an idea of who's on tonight's training. Where you're cool. And also, let me get some audio checks as well. If you guys can hear me, please let me know in the comments down below that you can hear me, so I'm not rambling and you guys can hear me. So awesome, guys. So thanks for being on time. We are going to give just a few more minutes for people to get into this call, and then we are going to get started. All right, so let me go ahead and share my screen real quick. Awesome, awesome. Actually, you see here. So are you guys looking at something that says win clients over your competitors right now? If that's what you're seeing, please let me know. Looks like we're going to be a go for launch. Actually, all right, guys, welcome to today's training on winning clients over your competitors. All right, so we're going to start with learning a little bit about branding and how important branding actually is. Okay, so let me guys ask you a question. When you hear the word branding, what do you normally think about? What do you think about when you hear the word branding? What does branding actually entail? And then what difference is branding yourself and then also branding the company or the brokerage that you're with? So what makes the difference between the two? All right, so we're going to talk about how to increase your brand recognition and how to do that through your branding, your topography, your colors, your logo, your brand perception, and your visual aesthetics. Okay, you guys may have heard in the past that it has absolutely nothing to do with who is the better agent, who is more experienced. It has everything to do with who can outmarket the next person, right? So I can take a brand new agent that has limited experience in this business, and I can turn them into a rock star because the way I get them positioned online, right? I'm gonna go ahead and pin this post real quick so people can find it real quick. Make it an announcement. All right. I have several people reaching out to me saying I can't find the post. All right, let me pin this to the top real quick. Pin it to the top. All right, cool. All right, we are now pinned to the top. All right, so when it comes to your brand, okay, a lot of people think about going to shopping carts, right? And then like on the back of like Kroger's, for those that are in the South. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about what we call is omnipresence. And what omnipresence is, that is being everywhere at one time. So no matter where someone goes online, your name, your brand is setting apart from the competition. All right. So let's have a fun little game here right quick. How many agents are in your marketplace? So give me a comment down below, and roughly, not exact numbers obviously, but how many agents are in your marketplace right now? I'd be curious to know. So I'll wait for some responses to come in real quick. Guys, this is an interactive training tonight, so please interact. Let me know how many agents are roughly in your marketplace. I'm going to use this as an illustration to hammer home a point here in a few minutes. Lavina says she made it. Welcome to the call. All right, Richard said 600 agents in his marketplace. Lavina, how many agents are in your marketplace? Anyone else that's on the call? Ryan, how many agents are in your individual marketplace? Jose said 1,300. Okay. Would it surprise you to know that here in Florida, there are more agents than there is inventory available? True fact, by the way. All right. So I'm going to back up a little bit and I'm going to talk about why branding is so darn important and why you visually have to look better than everyone else. All right. So I want you to think about leads in general. I want you to think about the psychology of leads. So let's pretend that you're not a real estate agent and you wanted to, well, let me rephrase that. You're thinking, quote unquote, about buying a house. What are you going to do? You're going to end up going online like everyone else, and you're going to end up on realtor.com or you're going to end up on Zillow. And you're going to look at a couple houses. You're going to find one that pops your interest, and then they're going to pop you for your contact information. And once you surrendered your name, email address, and phone number, they're going to sell your information to 3 to 5 agents at the exact same time. So if you looked at 10 different homes, there's a really good chance that you have 20 to 30 agents chasing you down. Are you guys getting what I'm putting out right now? Am I making sense? There is a fundamental flaw in the lead business. I need you to understand that leads only fall into one of two categories. Category number one, they watch way too much HGTV. They are not planning on doing anything ever. They are wasting everyone's time. You want to identify who they are and get them out of your pipeline. It's as quick as you possibly can. Or they fall into bucket number two. And bucket number two is something's either happening now or in their future, and they're looking into options. Somebody is driving too far to get home in the evenings. By the time they get home, the kids are in bed, the husband and wife are speaking at night, and they're thinking it would be nice to have him home sooner. Somebody is living in a 2-story house. They found out that their knees are killing them now because they just turned 60 or whatever, and they want a 1-story house. Somebody's living in an HOA so tight they can't put a dandelion in the front yard without getting a letter. There's a reason people start thinking about real estate. So when they go online and now they're getting bombarded with agents blowing their cell phone up, their text messages up, and everything, then you completely turn them off. That is the exact reason that when you call a lead, a lot of times they're going to say, I am not interested. I was just curious, or my hairdresser happens to be an agent. And depending on how much time you guys have tonight, I'll give you every other excuse in the book that I've heard for the last 20 years. But that's not true. What's true is they fit into category number one, or they fit into category number two. So what the heck does this have to do with branding? Listen, you have to look different, act different, and be different in order to get a different result. And that all starts with the way you position yourself online with your social media blueprint. When they Google you, what are they going to see? Are they going to see that you've been featured on NBC, ABC, CBS, and Fox? That's one of the things that I help my students actually accomplish. Or are they going to see you up in the club having a good time? What are they going to see online? What makes you different than the next person? So one of the things you have to do is you have to figure out what font you're going to use with your branding. What's your color scheme going to be? What's your logo going to look like? This is your brand perception, and it has to be visually aesthetic. That's why when you see Pepsi-Cola, you see Coca-Cola, and you see all these major corporations, Nike with the big swoosh, they have branding for a specific reason. So if you haven't started branding yourself, I'm highly going to encourage you to start branding yourself, because that's what's going to make the difference with someone choosing you over the next person. Okay, so let's talk about brands that you guys recognize, that as soon as you see the brand, boom, you know instantly who it is. So go ahead and put in the comments right now. Give me some brands that you would instantly recognize just by seeing their logo. And no, you can't cheat by looking at the map. So what are some other ones that you would instantly recognize by seeing them? Lavina, Richard, Crystal, welcome to the call. Jose, what do you guys got? Some brands that are instantly recognizable off their color scheme, or off their logo, or off their font. Jose says Chevrolet, absolutely. Apple, absolutely. Starbucks, absolutely. Nike, absolutely. Would you like to have that be you? How about when they see your team, you or your team, they instantly can recognize you? But most agents haven't taken the time to carve out what they're going to look like, what their messaging is going to be, what their USB is going to be, USP, which is unique selling proposition. We'll talk about in another training. So those are the things I'm going to encourage you to figure out. Now, let's talk about the difference between brokerage versus personal branding, okay? So how do you work around your brokerage's branding? First of all, brokerages, they have already got their brand established, all right? So if you're with RE/MAX or Century 21, they've already got that established, okay? Now, here is a fundamental problem, disadvantage, probably problems too high of a word to use. But why are you going to sit there and pay advertising dollars to promote your company when you should be promoting yourself? Now, look, I know there's state rules and you have to tell them what brokerage you're with. I'm not saying circumvent the rules. What I am saying is don't have that predominantly in your marketing, right? You want to make sure that your marketing is also branding yourself, all right? So one of the ways you're going to do that is with professional photography. Okay, let me explain what I'm talking about. You guys really need to go out to a professional photographer and have a bunch of shots made that you can use for a variety of marketing purposes. One's like this, one's like that, one going like this, one with a big soul sign, one with your thumbs up. Every pose you can possibly imagine, you should go ahead and get those created. So because you can use them for other marketing down the road. And ladies, especially ladies, for the love of God, please have a current photo of you in your marketing. I can't tell you the number of times I was working a deal with somebody, when I met them, I'm like, what? Because they're like 60 and they're using a picture when they're 20. Here's the bottom line. They're going to end up meeting you anyway. So try to do that every 6 months to every year to keep your photos, relevant. Okay. Lavinia said a year ago, she started rebranding herself as a team. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Get that name recognition out there. So when someone sees it, instantly who you are and what you stand for. Now, you always want to infuse your personality in your branding. What is it about you, your personality, your product offering that separates you different than everyone else? Jose said, I got tired of trying to brand around my broker, so I just opened my own office. That's what I'm talking about. Oh, by the way, if you're new to my world, listen, I don't play by the rules. I never have. I had a broker long enough for me to be a broker, and then I've never had a broker since. I don't play by the rules for that darn reason. I just open up my own shop. So if you don't like playing by the rules, become a broker, open up your own shop. All right, now you want to add value and you want to exercise expertise in your niche. Let me explain what I'm talking about. All right. Most agents are going to say the same old song and dance. Hi, my name is Dwayne Roberts, and I'm with Century 21, and I've been in the business for 6 to 7 years now, and I'll be happy to show you properties this weekend. I work nights and weekends, and I can get you approved with the best lender in town, and we're going to close on time, and it's going to be a smooth transaction. Please give me a call. My name is blah, blah, blah. Listen, no one responds to that garbage, okay? So the way that you add value to someone's life is by giving information they don't currently have. Now, you need to be creative with this, but you don't want to be too creative. So let me ask you guys some questions. Put in the comments right now what type of value that you think you can provide to the marketplace, which is different than what other agents may be doing to separate you from the competition. Be curious to know your thoughts on that. What's up, Assad? Welcome to tonight's training. Richard, Assad, those that are still on the live, even if you're watching the replay, put the comment down below. I'm curious. What do you think you can do to add value to the marketplace, which is different than another agent is doing to separate you from your competition? Richard said vendor sources. Elaborate. I think I know, Richard, I think I know where you're going with that. Not 100% sure. So if you don't mind, if you can elaborate on that a little bit. Let me tell you what I've done. Team Whitner says we provide a white glove experience on every transaction. Okay, I like that. That is a USP, unique selling proposition. I want you to think about wording that a little bit different to go into detail. In other words, how are you providing that white glove service? What are you going to be doing differently? It's one thing to say white glove service. It's another thing to actually tell them what they're doing. Go a little bit deeper. Richard said, having a team to give access. Okay, so here's where I was going with that. Listen, you have such a gold mine in front of you right now that most people simply are not using to its full capability. Let me explain. There's this thing that started back in the 80s. It's called the internet. And the National Association of Realtors said that this internet thing is going to change the entire business. And people laughed it off at an NAR conference. So let me ask you a question. If you've been doing this a day or two, put in the comments right now if you think that the internet has changed this business. Let me explain to you why it's so powerful, how you should be viewing it, and what you should be doing to take advantage of it. All right. First of all, let's talk about Facebook. Do you think Facebook is free? Yes or no? Is Facebook free? Put in the comments if you think Facebook is free. Crystal says, yes, 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 definitely. Is Facebook free? Jose said no. Who else agrees with Jose? Is Facebook free? Now, before you answer, I want you to think about what your mama used to tell you. Ain't nothing in life free, son. Listen, Facebook is collecting data. Every single time you go online, they are collecting what you look at, what you like, what you click, and believe it or not, your version of reality is exactly what they want you to see. I'm going to get political just for 1 second. My wife tells me not to, but I'm going to do it anyway because I don't play by the rules. All right. So if you are a conservative and you primarily click on a bunch of conservative stuff, then Facebook is going to continue to show you conservative type of stuff. And you won't get to see the other side of the coin. If you're liberal, then Facebook will continue to show you liberal type of stuff. So your news feed is continuously bombarded with things that you think that everyone in the world thinks the way that you think. And that's because they are feeding you information and because people are willing to pay to get information in front of you because Facebook is collecting data. Now, that being said, here's why Facebook is so darn powerful. And Jose said, yeah, they're listening in. Hey, side note, make sure this ain't just me. Have any of you been talking about something? You didn't look it up online, just random stuff. And the next thing you know, you go to Facebook and it's in your darn news feed. Has that happened to anyone but me? Am I the only one? Because it's starting to freak me out, to be honest with you. Like the other day, we were talking about like a Royal Caribbean cruise. We're Carnival people. We never go on Royal Caribbean. Next thing you know, my whole news feed's about about Royal Caribbean. It's crazy. Richard said happens all the time. Jose says me. Yep. They listed it in. All right. So here's why Facebook's so powerful, and half you guys aren't getting this. All right. You need to be working inside of your Facebook branding group. For my students, you know exactly what I'm talking about. For those who have not taken that plunge yet, it's something that we'll talk about if you decide to become a private client. Okay. You need to be going live in that group because you can add value to that group. Never before in the history of real estate or sales in general have you been able to go online and try to find common ground to communicate with somebody. Never before could you look at someone's profile and find out where they went to school, how old they are, their religious, their political preferences, if they have any kids, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, for you to find common ground to be able to present your product or your offering. Never before could you go online and go friend request and be instantly connected to someone. Listen, guys, that is power. That's power. But the internet is nothing more than a tool for someone to raise their hand to say, I might be interested in buying or selling real estate. It's up to you to learn to communicate your product offering. But agents make mistakes. And here's the mistake. I'm going to get off my bandwagon here in a minute. We'll continue the presentation, but I want to let you guys know the mistake that I see happening over and over and over again. Where's all my ladies on this call? Type in me. If you're a lady on this call, type in me. I want to see how many women I got on this call. Even if you're doing the replay, type in me. I want to know where all my ladies are at. Guys, I'm not leaving you out. I'm about to run you under the bus, but you'll see where I'm going with this. All right. So ladies, let me ask you a question. All right, let's get real. If your significant other on the very first date dropped down on one knee and said, oh my God, I've been waiting for you my whole entire life. Marry me, baby. What would you have said? Would you have said yes, or would you have said no? The very first date. Now, typically, I always have someone that says, I would have, but typically that's not the right answer. Let me see what kind. Lavita said, she didn't say no. She said, heck no. Crystal, what you got? Where's my ladies at? Would you have said yes to a marriage proposal on the very first date? Obviously, the answer is no. Why not? Because there is no relationship. With no relationship, no marriage. So here's the mistake that agents make. They get a lead and they try to get a home run before there's a relationship. They expect to send a couple emails, a couple text messages, and get a commitment in the form of a buyer's agency agreement or in the form of an exclusive leasing agreement. And guess what? It doesn't work that way. Guys, if you're out in a social gathering, you're at a bar, you're at a club, and you see a girl across the way, you have two options. You can come on strong and you can push her off, or you can attract her to you. Ladies, if you notice the man first, is there a better possibility of him at least getting your phone number and maybe asking you out on a date, opposed to him being forceful and coming in on you? That is the difference between attraction marketing and push marketing. So I'm going to bring this all full circle. You see where I'm going with this. So you guys get all these leads and you send a canned pickup line like, hi, my name is Bob and I've been in the real estate, and no one cares. And there's no relationship that you're actually building. How about friend request them, like some of their posts? In my course, in my advanced training, I have a video. It's an hour and a half worth of me actually working leads, developing relationships with people. Because this is a relationship business, period. So you use the internet just as a tool to learn how to start developing those relationships. So friend request them. Go out and meet them. Start nurturing that relationship until you're able to get that marriage proposal. Does that make sense? Now, let me ask you a question. Should you be working with everybody? Should you be working with everybody? Buyers, sellers, people to move up, people looking to downsize. If there is a commission check involved, should you be involved? Yes or no? Richard said no. Who agrees with Richard? Should you be working with everyone? I want you to think about something right now. For those that have been doing real estate for a while, okay? Think of your perfect client. Think of a transaction that went so smooth. Like they were a pleasure to work with. They had good credit. They had a house to sell. It sold fast. They knew what they wanted, like a dream client. The client at the end of that transaction, you thought to yourself, oh my God, I wish they were all that way. If you have a client's name in the back of your mind right now, put their first name in the comments right now. I know you're already thinking about one. I want you to do a visualization exercise here. I want you to put their first name in the comments right now. What's up, Lori Loke? Welcome to the training tonight. If you are looking for a dream client, you've always had that one client that was a pleasure to work with, put that person's name. Lavina said Ben and Carrie. Lori says Michelle. Okay. Let me ask you guys a question. Richard said Dave. Okay. How would your life be if you had nothing but Daves, nothing but Michelle's, nothing but Ben and Carrie's? What would your life be like if all you had was dream clients? Would you be happier? Would you make more money? Would you actually enjoy real estate again? All this starts with defining your avatar. Now, an avatar is not a blue person on the movie screens, as much as you may think that it is. It is a particular type of person. Now, I want to challenge you guys to do an exercise. I want you to think of your top 5 smoothest transactions. You just did the first one, but when we get off this chat, this training, I want to challenge you to do just that. I want you to think of 5 of the people that you just love to work with. And then I want you to bust out some similarities. How old were they? Did they own a house already? How was their credit? What were they into? Did they share your political beliefs? Did they share your faith? Think about all of those things. And then you can target your audience to go directly after them. Now, before you say to yourself, Dwayne, you can't target anymore on Facebook. Yes, you can, baby, if you know how to do it. So Facebook took away the targeting options, right? You guys know what I'm talking about? Well, there's ways to tap dance all around that, and I can show you guys how to actually do it. So you're attracting more of your dream type clients that have been a pleasure for you to work with. So you need to really hone in on your avatar, because if you are attracting the right type of buyer, the right type of seller, and they are attracted to you, and you've got your branding in a position where you look different, act different, and you're different than everyone else, then they're going to want to choose you, and it's going to be smooth sailing. That's what I'm going to encourage you guys to want to do. Now, have you possibly developed what's called a brand book? This is where you're picking out your colors, picking out your logos. And by the way, let me give you guys a little tip right now for those that may not have a personal logo. Yeah, we know you got your logo for your company. I ain't talking about that, okay? I'm talking about a logo for you, right? So a little trick of the trade is a company called Fiverr. It's Fiverr, Fiverr. Like you throwing out a $5 bill, Fiverr. And on Fiverr, you can get just about anything that you want done in this world for like $5, like a logo, right? So I'm going to challenge everyone on this call to go to Fiverr, find a designer that you like the way they look, and have a personal logo created to separate you from your competition. It's an easy $5 thing that you can put on your marketing material that's going to help separate you from everyone else. Lavina says she created a kit on Canva. Yes, love Canva. So you need to pick out your colors, pick out your corporate fonts, pick out the things that are going to separate you from everyone else, and you need to be consistent. That's the key word. All your branding needs to be consistent. So let me ask you a question. Right now, the way the market is, should you be focusing it on buyers or should you be focusing in on sellers? Should we be focusing on buyers or should we be focusing in on sellers? Or am I tricking you? Should you be doing both? Marina said sellers. Who agrees with her? Sellers. Marcos gave me a sad face. Why did you give me an angry face? Maybe it was a mistake. All right, so everyone's saying seller, 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 sellers. Okay, that is the right answer, but guess what? What goes up must come down. We are not going to always be in a seller's market. We are right now for sure, right? But let's not forget to fill our pipeline with some buyers, because when this crap calms down, they're still going to be buying a house. But here's where I'm going with that. When you're creating and crafting out your avatar, you should be crafting your avatar with sellers right now, your dream type of seller. And then go after those people, because he or she that controls the market is going to control everything right now. So you want to know your dream client and you want to meet your ideal client where they're at and where they're looking, and you need to have content that's actually relevant to them, interesting and engaging and trust. Okay. Let me tell you what these sellers are thinking right now. Okay. They're all thinking this: I cannot replace my house for the amount I'm going to sell it for. True or not true? Am I speaking truth? Is that going through sellers' minds right now, that they cannot replace their house for what they're going to sell it for? So one of the things that you've got to do is you have to break that limiting belief by finding that property that's going to make them want to move. Marco said, sorry, I pressed the wrong button. I'll just give you a hard time. All right, so check it out. Let me give you a sweet spot. Drum roll. Sweet spot. Here we go. Here comes the heat. Here comes the heat. All right. Find an FHA seller. Find somebody who bought an FHA loan 7 to 8 years ago. Because they're paying what? Put in the comments right now, if they take out an FHA loan, what are they paying? About $250 to almost $300 a month, depending on their loan size. What are they paying on an FHA loan right now? Someone's going to get it. There you go, Levita. MI, PMI, that's right. So check it out. Here's your sweet spot. Here's the heat for tonight. You're going to run Facebook ads or organic. It doesn't matter. I teach both in my course. You're going to get traffic. And when you're getting traffic, you're going to ask a question. The question is do you own a house now? Because if they say, yeah, I own a house now, then we know they either fit into bucket number 1 or they fit into bucket number 2. The ones that are fitting in bucket number 1, let's get them out. Bucket number 2, nurturing them. You're going to put them into a 3D direct mail approach, which we talk about in my course, or you're going to go knock on their door. And if you find somebody who took out an FHA loan 78 years ago, they're paying PMI, but in the back of their mind, they're not thinking they can drop it. Because there is a really good chance with the current appreciation that they can sell their house and walk away with 20% down on the next house. And the interest rates are lower today than they were then, which means they can probably get into a bigger, nicer, newer house and their payment doesn't even change because now they're dropping PMI. You see what I'm saying? So when you have that conversation, say, hey, Mr. Seller, I'm not sure if this is applicable to you, but according to tax records, it looks like you guys took out an FHA loan. So some of my clients I've been able to work with, I know you say you're interested in up to 450, but if we're able to actually get your PMI drop, you might be able to get up to about 490, 500. Look at all these options that you have available for you. Bam, because they weren't thinking that. You see how the entire mind shift happens? So that's your sweet spot if you can find someone that currently has an FHA house and they're looking to upsize, because in the back of their mind, no one told them they're going to drop PMI. They weren't thinking about that. So if you guys like that, give me a little bit of love on the live. I appreciate it. Now, you want to speak directly to your dream clients. You want to engage with them. You want to treat them like a friend. You want to develop the magic word, which is what? Relationships with your dream clients. You want clients to comment on your posts, get your clients to watch your live videos. You want to pull clients in with your recognizable brand aesthetics. And here's another mistake that a lot of agents make. We all want business today. I get it, right? But listen, not everyone is ready today. We all want to attract only our dream clients. Sometimes less than our perfect client comes across our desk. Here's the deal. You have to treat every single buyer or seller like they're a client now. And when they're ready, they will come back to you. I can't tell you the number of times that I went above and beyond to service people, and 6 months, 12 months down the road, they come back and they end up using me for real estate because I've been nurturing them, friending them, developing a relationship, dating them the entire time. As a matter of fact, you guys may be familiar with my book. If you're not, my wife and I wrote a book called Lead Conversion Secrets. So if you are watching this training and you do not have a copy of my new book, just put it in the comment and type the word book. And then I'll get you a free digital copy of my book out right away. It goes over my 20-year journey on what it takes to attract and convert buyer and seller leads. But we're in the process of writing our second book, and it's called Date Your Prospects, specifically because of so many people and how to actually develop and nurture those relationships. All right. So the higher engagement that you have on your social media platforms, the better you're going to do. And you want to show your content directly to them. So let me give you a little bit of a tip. Okay. Every last one of your closed customers, I'm talking about every customer you've closed from day number one, they need to be in a database. First of all, I probably know this answer here real quick because I've been doing this a long time, and I've spoken on stage at National Association of Realtors. I've done local presentations before with local regional boards. And normally when I ask a question, which is who's got a database, who's got an Excel spreadsheet of all their customers right now? Like you can go to your Dropbox, you can go to your Google Drive, you can get me a list right now of every customer that you've closed. Who's got it? Very few hands go up. If you got it, I want to know about it. Put it in the comments. I do. That's awesome. I'll give you a big pat on the back for that one. If you don't, you're missing out. Okay. So what you can do is you can take that list and you can upload that list directly to Facebook and create what's called a customized audience. Then you can show your content directly to your past customers, so you're always staying in touch. How many times have you guys closed a customer and then you found out that they listed their home with somebody else? Because buyer reps do a very poor job when it comes to staying in contact. You want to make sure that you're staying in complete relevance all the time. So you should have a couple customized audience lists. Okay. You should have a list of people that you've closed, and you should have a list of people that you're prospecting. And every time, and you should be going live continuously and pushing out videos talking about what's happening in the marketplace, what's happening in the interest rates. Lavina said, what's the smallest Facebook audience size? About 100. 100 seems to be that sweet spot. So what you want to do is you want to engage and always have content ready for you, for those people to stay relevant. You want to make it so every time they go online, they can't escape you. Like you're everywhere. That goes back to omnipresence, which we was talking about at the very beginning of this. Now, you need to be putting out content weekly, and you need to be consistent at it. You need to create trust and likability. Now, you may ask yourself, well, what type of content should I be putting out? Well, if you're a student, I give you all the content. If you're a student and you're like, where's that at? Issue a support ticket, put it in the group. I'll tell you where to find the content. But we tell you what you can do every single week to be pushing out this content. We make it a real no-brainer. But you want to be doing that on a consistent basis. If you guys have not read the book, The Slight Edge, I highly recommend that you get that book. Matter of fact, I think I have someone on the call right now. Richard's actually in the process now of reading that book called The Slight Edge. So Richard, if you're still on here, leave everyone a comment to let everyone know what your thought process is of the book that you're reading so far. I'm not going to spoil the book for you. I'm just saying you need to get it because it's going to help you understand how being consistent is going to make a change in your business. Now, if you do it right, you can let your brand work for you. That way, you're not always out hustling and drumming up new business because you're attracting people. Again, you don't want to do push marketing. You want to do attraction marketing. The way you look, your brand, your color scheme, your message to the world, how you're different, that white glove experience that Lavinia was talking about, those are the things that is going to distinguish your brand against everyone else's and what you need to be doing to get that brand out there in the community. If and when you do that, you're going to have people coming to you. Is it going to be an overnight process? No, it's not going to be an overnight process. It takes a while to learn to brand. But guess when the best time to start is? When do you think the best time to start branding yourself is? Put in the comments right now when you think the best time is to start branding yourself. Someone's going to get it on the first run. The answer, right now. Right now is the time to start branding yourself, getting yourself in order, and developing that team, that brand, that recognizable entity out there in the marketplace. And eventually people will get to know who you are. But if you're sitting behind your computer and you're not pushing out content, that's never going to happen. Jose got it, said today, that's absolutely right. All right, so if you guys like what you're hearing so far, and you're not currently a student of marketing and conversion, I would love to have a quick 15-minute call with you. I would like to learn what you're doing now that is working and what you're doing that has not worked. And together, let's see if we have a game plan, something that can help you get to your next level. So if you like what you're hearing and you want more of this at even a deeper level, I want you to put in the comments, increase. Type the word increase in the comments right now. Even if you're watching the replay, I want to see the word increase down below. That is going to be a clue for my team to reach out for a quick 15-minute non-sales introduction. We're going to briefly explain to you what we do, how we do it. If it sounds like something you're interested in, we can talk about what it will look like to work together. But it's just an opportunity for us to get to know you, for you to get to know us, so we can learn together if we have something to help you get to your next level. Now, that next level may be getting consistent at closing 1 transaction a month. Maybe your next level is consistent doing 2 transactions a month, 3 transactions a month. Whatever it is, we want to help you get to that next level. If you did not make a bare minimum of $100,000 last year in real estate, you need help. So type the word increase down below. Let me jump in and show you what we're doing differently to attract buyers and sellers. What we're doing differently to help put your social media profile in line to start attracting people. What we're doing differently to help you learn how to establish your brand, your credibility out in the marketplace. So again, one last time, if you're watching the replay or you're watching it live, if you want help in your business and you want us to see what we might be able to help you out, just type the word increase down below. So on behalf of myself, my beautiful wife, Amanda, who will be doing next week's training, always Monday at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. Make sure that you be on the lookout for that. We appreciate you coming on this call. We appreciate all the input, all the engagement. And remember, guys, with digital marketing, things are going to change. What works today may not necessarily work tomorrow. When things change, and they will, you learn, you adapt, and you overcome. Guys, we're so excited what's happening here in marketing and conversion. My mission in life is to help as many agents as I can learn how to really do this business, learn how to date their prospects, learn how to convert more leads into closings. And I'm doing it one agent at a time. Everyone have a great night, and we'll see you next week.